The echoes of Ashford Manor. The locals whispered about Ashford Manor. Perched on a desolate hill, its shattered windows seemed to watch over the town like hollow, unblinking eyes. It had been empty for over 70 years, but no one dared to venture near. Rumors of screams at night and phantom lights flickering in the windows kept people away. Lila didn't believe in ghosts. As an amateur urban explorer, she thrived on the adrenaline of discovering forgotten places. Armed with a flashlight and her camera, she ignored the warnings and ventured into the manor under the light of a pale, waning moon. The front door creaked open as if it had been expecting her. The air inside was heavy, laced with the scent of mold and something faintly metallic. Her footsteps echoed across the warped wooden floor as she shone her flashlight around the grand, decaying foyer. A chandelier hung overhead, its crystals dark with grime, swaying slightly even though the air was still. Lila began snapping photos, marveling at the intricate but faded wallpaper and the spiral staircase leading to darkness above. The house was eerily silent except for the occasional creak of settling wood. She made her way to the parlor, where a grand piano stood, its keys yellowed with age. As she leaned in to photograph the piano, a single note rang out. Startled, Lila stepped back, her flashlight trembling in her hand. She swung the beam around the room, but there was no one there. Laughing nervously, she convinced herself it was a fluke, a loose string or the wind. She continued her exploration, venturing into the dining room. A long, dusty table stretched the length of the room, with chairs scattered haphazardly around it. On the table sat a single teacup, cracked and rimmed with grime. Lila took a picture, then froze. The flashlight dimmed, flickered, and went out. She smacked it against her palm until it flickered back to life. When the beam returned, the teacup was gone. Her pulse quickened as she backed out of the room, but her retreat was interrupted by the sound of footsteps upstairs, slow, deliberate, heavy. "End quote, hello," end quote, she called out, her voice trembling. There was no reply, only the continued creak of footsteps. Against her better judgment, Lila ascended the staircase. Each step groaned under her weight, and the shadows seemed to press closer. At the top, the hallway stretched endlessly in both directions. The footsteps stopped, replaced by a faint, chilling whisper. She cooed in and hashtag 039, make out the words, but the tone was unmistakable, anger. The whisper grew louder, more insistent, until it surrounded her. Panicking, Lila turned to flee, but the floor beneath her feet gave way. She plummeted, landing in a pitch-black space below. Her flashlight rolled away, its beam illuminating dozens of faces etched into the walls, faces frozen in silent screams. Before she could scream herself, a hand, cold and skeletal, clamped over her mouth.